Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Ryan, aka Ryman, and this is Katawa Shoujo. The last time we were here, we had a lovely tea party. And now, we have a whole new day to go through. I got with me my drink here, just in case I go into another coughing fit. What exactly am I drinking? Well, that depends on who wants to pay me money. Tastes great, though! I pull my door closed, ready for another day of classes. Fuck! Kenji. You kinda pulled a Misha here. Sleep well. Kenji's sudden arrival makes me jump, and I narrowly avoid butting heads with him. Not that he would know that. I know he has poor eyesight, but he knows who I am now. Does he still have to stand this close? Can he only identify people by smell? Is that a thing? I would ask blind people if that's a thing, but I don't know any blind people. Oh, yeah, like a baby. Damn, why do people say that? Have you ever heard a baby sleep? In fact, I have not. 1, because I don't have children. 2, I firmly believe that babies don't actually sleep. They just scream throughout the entire night and keeping the parents awake, so no one sleeps. They scream all night, every night. Babies don't sleep well, ever. Okay, that legit freaked me. Normally Hisao channels me, but I wonder if my stand power has increased, and now other people are channeling me. That probably explains Rin the Collector's sense of humor, now that I think about it. Well, there goes my restful state. I have to remember to never use figures of speech with Kenji. Alright, I get your point. It was a figure of speech. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Where were you last night? I had a favor to ask you, but you weren't around. You better not ask me for more money. There will be a fight. For a split second, I considered telling Kenji the truth. That I was spending time with Hanako and Lily. Drinking tea. Hopefully that split second passes as soon as it came. I was just out, checking out the local area and stuff. You know, recon. Good man, good. I knew you were the type to plan ahead. You know, I think, while I'm having this conversation with you, Kenji, I'd like to take a moment and pause for a small moment of silence for Don. You see, in a parallel universe, in his playthrough, if you want to go with the Katawa Shoujo DC multi-universe thing, Don's playthrough has come to an end. Sorry to give that kind of spoiler. You can kind of imagine how it went. So, moment of silence. And we're back. Anyway, what was this favor you wanted? I was going to get some takeout, but I needed change. Kenji, I have with me, let me move my computer. I have with me, sitting right here, a few things. I have, here's one hatchet. Here's my second hatchet. There's my third hatchet. I have 2 machetes, and a few other knives, and barbed wire baseball bats sitting across the room from me. You may pick and choose which one of these you want to end your life? What, nani? I gave you money last week and you still haven't paid me back, you fucking son of a whore. This is...
I was starting to think you were cool.
Kenji fishes around his pocket and produces his wallet. As he counts out the 400 yen he owes me, I can clearly see at least two 10,000 yen notes. What takeout are you getting? A whore? A hooker? Are you getting a disabled hooker? Hey, what the hell? Why are you borrowing money off me when you have that much cash? Kenji hisses a little, realizing he's been had. That's a Kenji hiss, huh?
Get off my case, man. It's bad luck to break a big note for anything less than half its value. It's the tycoon's rule. Last night's dinner is going to cost me 7 years of bad luck. 7 years! Don't you think that's enough cause to help someone out? I've got a shorter sentence if I just stole the stuff.
What? No! My common sense screams at me to say something to him, but thankfully I restrain myself. Arguing a point like this with Kenji will just lead to further and more complicated discussions. Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe we should plan these things out a little better.
Yeah, man, I know. But I've got so much stuff to do, it's hard. And you're never around anymore, so I'm on my own. We're supposed to be brothers in brotherhood, remember?
Yeah, I get you. Global conspiracy and such. I'll keep my ear to the ground. Kenji draws close enough for me to get a whiff of his garlic-tainted breath.
You better, man. You're already spending less time here. That's the first thing they do. They'll try to split us up, divide and conquer. Sun Tzu said that.
Roger that. I've got to be going. I've got classes. Are you coming?
Nah, I'm tired. I stayed up all night to make sure nothing was going to happen after splitting that note.
As rational as ever, I see.
Whatever. Night.
I don't know where I am when he starts talking to me. Kenji scurries back into his room, and I hear him throwing his locks as I walk down the hallway. That is why some people can't roll their tongue, or why their second toe is longer than their big toe! I don't want context. I don't care if this is on his test. I don't want context to this lesson. Muto becomes a half-moon smile at us. Is obviously proud of his explanation of recessive genes. However, no matter how impressed he is at the science that defines who we are, the classroom seems to be reduced to a stupor. Why is it that bad an explanation can make even the most interesting things seem worthless? I can see Muto deflate as he realizes that nothing he said in the past half hour has sunk in. Whispered conversations start to break the silence, and like an avalanche, the noise level in the class starts to rise. Defeated, Muto identifies some questions from the next textbook and sets to clearing off the blackboard. Hello? Uh-oh. I would have cried. Almost as if expected, Hanako packs up her things and leaves as soon as people start talking and laughing among themselves. The initial shock of seeing someone play so blatantly Tron has started to fade, but it doesn't stop me from wondering. Is she leaving because she doesn't want people to speak to her? Or is it just the thought of people around her shattering her peace? I think it's because she has an assassination to get to in like 5 minutes. Before I can think about the topic any further, the lunch bell rings. I wonder if she was simply taking the opportunity to leave early. The usual clamor of students exchanging books for lunch reverberates around the room, and while Misha's distracted, I grab my lunch and fucking run! Lily already sits in the tea room, setting out her lunch alone. Oh god, I got a cough again. Oh, that felt pleasant. Oh. Lily, I read that line. So, Hanako's not here then?
Oh, Hisao, how are you? I haven't met Hanako since this morning, I'm afraid.
That's right, Hanako and Lily live next door to each other. Somehow I think their morning conversations are slightly more grounded than Kenji's ramblings. But probably not as interesting. That's strange. She left class early, so I figured she'd come here.
So, she's still leaving class early.
Huh? Yeah, I've seen her do it a few times. Lily drops her head a little, and her tone of voice is notably depressed. It's very reminiscent of someone who's used to hearing bad news.
I was so sure that she stopped doing that once you two became friends. Everyone has their own pace, I suppose.
Well, I was wondering about just that today. Why exactly does she leave?
I'm not entirely sure myself. I personally think it's because she doesn't want to be put in a situation where she has to answer someone.
I have a flashback to my first meeting with her, when I thought she looked like a cornered animal. Maybe I wasn't far from the truth. But she seems fine with talking to you, and with me, a bit.
It's a little more complex than that. I imagine the first thing most people ask about is her scars, and what happened. She rarely talks about it with me, but I can tell she doesn't like to remember whatever happened back then. Leaving class and running away from discussions is her preemptive strike, if you will.
Huh. So then, how does that explain her talking to me?
You said it yourself yesterday at breakfast. You tried to ignore her scars. Once she saw that you weren't going to ask about that, she opened herself up to you.
I don't know, that just seemed like it would be the normal thing to do. I don't know, wouldn't that not be rude? To just walk up to someone and the first thing out of your mouth is, hey, tell me about your scars. No! Usually the first thing out of my mouth is, hi. And usually the second line spoken in the conversation is the woman saying, I gotta go! Oh my god, that's kind of how that played out. That's kind of how that library scene panned out, now that I think about it. I guess you're right. Maybe. I don't know. You know her better than I, so I'll take your word for it. Something tells me I'm going to be following her lead in a lot of these things.
I wouldn't worry about that. I'm sure you'll come to know her as well as I do soon enough. I welcome the prospect of her having a new friend, and the two of you have so much similar interests.
Well, I hardly count reading as a team sport. It is good to have company, though. A similar interest, yeah, there's the book thing, reading's cool and all, chess is cool and all. Unless she has a thing... I don't cook myself, but cooking's fine. I'm alright with cooking. Unless she has a thing for killing zombies and karaoke, I don't know how much else the two of us are gonna have in common. Shut the fuck up. Karaoke's fun, okay? It's the only time I can sing comfortably in front of people is when they're pissed drunk and don't care.
That's my point. Hanako is still an average person at heart. She also wants company at times like that.
Huh. I see. I think. To be honest, both of you still confuse me a little.
That's only natural, Hisao. We've only known each other for a little while. It's unreasonable to expect you to understand us, just as we can't understand you. But that is half of the fun of becoming friends, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Although, I suppose there is the matter of us being opposite genders. Men and women do seem to confuse each other quite often.
Oh, I should have given... She says it with a light giggle. Finding amusement at the odd little details of life.
I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to start eating.
Go right ahead. I already started eating. No, go ahead. I think I'll eat something too. I've got some books I want to drop back at the library before classes start, so I better get a move on.
You'll probably find Hanako there as well. If you do see her, you can tell her to stop by my room later tonight. I'd like to talk to her.
You're not coming?
Unfortunately, I have class representatives meeting later, so I'll be gone as soon as I finish my lunch.
Okay then. If I don't see her in the library, then I'll tell her in class. I'm sure she'll be back after lunch. We fall silent as we start to eat, and I take a second to reflect on our conversation. I always thought that Hanako's shyness was simply due to her being self-conscious of her scars. But that is pretty superficial way of looking at her. Just when I thought I was able to see through the fog of Lily and Hanako, I realized that I'm more lost than when I started. Lily quickly finishes her lunch, acutely aware of her meeting. I don't blame her. Shizune is most likely going to be there, and I doubt she wants to give her the satisfaction of another argument.
I must be off. Same time tomorrow.
Same time, same bat channel. I better head off too. I don't want to risk being late. Lily smiles gently, picks up her cane, and walks into the hall with that pimp strut of hers. I turn my back on Lily as we head in opposite directions. For some reason, I find myself hoping she doesn't get into another fight with Shizune. As much as I like Lily, Shizune and Misha have been pretty instrumental of helping me adjust. Even if half our conversations are thinly veiled recruitment attempts. Then again, I barely know either of them. Maybe they were previously leaders of some kind of secret society, but their love for each other drove them apart. Man, I need to stop reading cheap fiction. No, you need to read more! It's rotting my brain. Either that or I've got to move away from Kenji and his bad influence. It's sad that I can't tell the two apart anymore. I slide my book down to the return chute, and they crash into the cart with a pleasant thud. Oh! That wasn't pleasant at all! Oh man. Yuko, however, doesn't seem as impressed as I. Hey, Sal, you scared me. I'm suddenly remembering my buddy Mark's interpretation for Yuko when he was in Don's live stream, and he reads it off as like a Black Vietnam veteran. Sorry, I thought you'd be used to that by now. Or is the literacy level here so low that nobody borrows any books? Huh? No, I think everyone here can read fine. Yeah, never mind. Oy vey. There's some battles that you can never win. Trying to explain jokes is one of them. My dad taught me that the hard way. Say, Yuko, have you seen Hanako about? She left class early, but she wasn't in her usual hiding place.
I think I saw her sneak in before lunch. Oh, but I'm not supposed to tell anyone that.
I just told you that I saw her leave. No one needs to stress out. No need to stress out.
Oh, of course. She's probably in the back.
Thanks. Get any new books in recently?
No, sorry. I'll let you know when we do, though.
Okay. If there's one thing I know about librarians, part-time or otherwise, is that they appreciate people who take a genuine interest in their work. I walk the now familiar path to Hanako's reading nook. I want that as a banner just thrown over the corner where she is. Picking out a few titles along the way. Sometimes I find it hard to discover a book that will interest me among the shelves. An author's name and two-word title don't mean much in a sea of similar words. For that reason, I sometimes reread books that I read in the past. Better to bet on the favorite than a new runner. An unfamiliar title from a familiar author peeks out among the spines of its neighbors, so I remove it from the shelf. At least I'm not going over old material. As expected, Hanako sits on her beanbag, buried deep in a copy of Dance, Dance, Dance Revolution. Hi, Hanako. How's it going? I fight back the urge to ask why she left class early. If Lily's suspicions were right, then asking her about that would have the opposite effect. Best leave it for the time being. Sometimes the best way to get an answer from someone is to never ask the question.
Hello, Hisao. I'm fine.
Something seems off, and after a couple of seconds, I realize what it is. Hanako's smiling! Look at that! We've seen her smile before, but this must be a genuine smile. Yay! She looks as if she's pleased to see me. It's a nice change from the usual. From the usual instinctive frightened reaction, and something I hope to see more of as we get to know each other better. Good to hear. How's that book? I've heard it's a trip.
It's good, I think. I've only just started it, so I don't really know.
Fair enough. Let me know how it goes.
Sure.
There's a good 15 minutes left in lunch. Not enough to really get into a book, but too much to stand around doing nothing. I'm the opposite. I would love to just stand and do nothing for 15 minutes. That sounds relaxing. As Hanako has already returned to her reading, so I doubt I'll get much conversation from her. Oh well, I better make myself comfortable. I should get a beanbag chair for my office here. That'd be dope. I slouch into a beanbag and crack open my book. The familiar style of the author leaps out at me from the very first line. As the sentences turn into paragraphs, I start to relax a little. But no matter how I try, I can't seem to get myself into the atmosphere of the book. This is partly due to lack of time, but there's more distracting factor is Hanako. The music has died down and she's staring at me. I'm the mark. I know I'm the mark. This is gonna suck if I'm the mark. Every 10 or so seconds, she peers over the top of her book, but when our eyes meet, she quickly ducks behind the covers. It is very reminiscent of our first meeting. I guess she did want to talk about something after all. Well, we're here now. Might as well ask Penny for her thoughts. What's up? You look like a prairie dog on lookout.
It's nothing.
You don't... Girl, I may be innocent, in quotations, innocent and naive, and just flat out stupid, but even I know that when you keep staring at someone and then trying to avoid eye contact, it's not nothing. I've told you before, nothing means something when you say it like that. Hanako squirms a little in her beanbag, hoping that by changing her position she'll find the word she's looking for.
I was in an accident.
Wait, just now? The fuck happened to you on the way to the library? Accident? Just now? Are you alright? Hanako shakes her head, her hair flowing around her shoulders in wisps of amethyst on her background of her pale and dark flesh.
No, when I was younger.
Realization crashes into me like a semi. Oh no. They're playing sad music too. Oh boy, come on. Let's roll with this.
When I was...
It's alright, Hanako. You don't have to tell me anything if you don't want to. Again, she shakes her head.
No. I have to tell you.
Oh, we've lost the budget. No, Ryan, not now. This is supposed to be a serious moment.
When I was young, I was in a fire. My house burned down, and I nearly didn't make it. After that, I was alone.
Hanako's eyes glisten in the dim light of the library, and I reach out to grasp her hand. It's okay, Hanako. You don't have to keep going.
But I have to.
Why? What brought this on?
Last night, Lily told me about your heart, and I didn't think it was fair.
Fair?
That I knew about you, but you didn't know about me.
I squeeze Hanako's hand a little. Don't be silly. But yes, I have a heart condition. Big Macs will do that to you. I lean a little closer to Hanako. What I didn't tell Lily is that I had my first heart attack when a girl confessed to me. I smile a little to break the tension.
Really?
Really. I haven't heard from her for a while, though, so I guess it's all over. I know it's all over. There's no way to interpret what happened the last time I saw her. In some ways, not having heard from her again has helped me move on from that period of my life. Wow. So now, We both know a little more about each other. But you don't have to talk about things if you don't want to. In fact, I feel a little bad even thinking about the whole incident. I can almost smell the hospital's disinfectant burning the back of my sinuses again. I imagine Hanako is going through the same thing right now. When I was in the hospital, I went to the burn ward once. And only once. I was bored, so I went for a walk through all of the wards. I went through oncology and thought I could take it. But when I got to the burn ward, I turned around and went back to my bed. To think that Hanako would have spent months in a place like that, smelling nothing but corrupted skin, strong disinfectant and sterilized air. The really bad cases were kept in isolated pods that no foreign objects could enter. That would have meant no reading. I would have gone insane if I didn't have my books in the hospital. And she said she was alone. Did her parents die? I'll have to ask Lily about it. I can imagine myself saying something done unintentionally.
Thank you, Hisao. I haven't told many people about this.
To be honest, I haven't told many people about my circumstances either.
Then I won't tell anyone either.
Deal. I changed my grip on Hanako's hand into a handshake as the warning bells chimed through the window. Whew, well then, we better head back to class then, eh?
Sure.
Oh, that's a nice picture. Act 3, castling. We made it through Act 2? Made it through the end. That's definitely the end of a chapter right there. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, I don't have a joke. That's not something you make a joke of. Nothing that traumatic. Many other memories and feelings started to flood back during parts of that conversation. Yeah. I think after that, I'm going to have to end it here for tonight. Well, yeah. I've got to start prepping myself for Fear the Walking Dead. You know, not to date this any, but the new season starts up, so maybe that'll cheer me up a little bit. Man. I came here, I started this whole thing. I started not just this playthrough, but this whole channel for fun and debauchery, and I gotta be hit by this tactical field bomb? Oi. I'm saving it here. Ay. Folks, if you had any enjoyment from sitting here and just enjoying me reading through this story, give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel to see more. Follow the Facebook page to keep up with all the news and any other content that I may post. And as always, I want you guys to stay awesome out there. And you don't have to promise me that you're going to, because I know you will. Adios.